Hi guys, welcome to Family Create. I hope you're all doing well. In this video, you'll see a very detailed and comprehensive walkthrough and review of the Huawei Watch 4 Pro. This video was recorded a good while back. My apologies for the delay in editing and uploading due to time constraints. So moving on, since the Huawei Watch 4 Pro is unique in many aspects and due to viewer requests, we've decided to cover extensively the features and settings of the watch. This series of videos will provide an in-depth insight of the watch, hence the lengthy coverage. However, I have broken it into segments and this is part 1 of the walkthrough series. Please do subscribe and put your notification bell on so you can get notified when I upload the other parts. So let's begin.
So I'll cover as much as I can in terms of the devices, the watch itself, the design, build, software side of things, health features. We'll look through some of the more detailed stuff in this review. So this watch, in terms of spec, it's very high spec. Obviously, it's one of the highest spec watches out there with the price to match, obviously. So this costs £550, I think, in UK. So I did receive these Huawei FreeBuds 5i. It's supposed to be quite good. I haven't opened it, so I haven't really tested these. But this comes as a gift when you purchase the Huawei watch from the website. In terms of what the watch comes with, so you get this nice little box. You can tell it's quite classy the way it's done in gold. Huawei. Inside, again, packaging is quite nice. It comes with this usual leaflets and stuff, and then it comes with a charger, and I'll cover the charger a bit later. And extra sort of additional pieces for the strap in case you want to, your wrists are bigger and you want to sort of extend the size. So that's that. Anyway, coming back to the watch. So in terms of spec, let's start off with the exterior of the watch. So it comes with aerospace grade titanium spherical sapphire glass. So that what that means, obviously, in terms of quality. I'm gonna move this box out of the way for a second. You can see the build quality of this watch. It's absolutely outstanding. It's the best watch I've ever held in my hand, smartwatch. So yeah, very, very high quality. Look at that. Titanium aerospace grade. On the side you have this crown, and then you have another button at the bottom, and I'll show you what they obviously function differently. This crown is particularly interesting. In terms of the glass itself, one of my favorite features of this watch is just an amazing glass, really. Screen on any other watch. I mean, I can compare this with Samsung's Galaxy 5 Pro, other Samsung watches, compare Ticwatch Pro 5, and I can compare with Pixel watch as well. But this is just completely on another level. I mean, this glass has a nice sort of curve to it. It's like a dome shape, but not entirely dome, but it has a curve. And what that means as well is the way it reflects. I mean, it's just quite classy. It's just like one of those really expensive watch. When you've got it in your hand and it's reflecting light and everything around you, I mean, it's just really high quality. And to be honest, because of the way this glass is, every watch face on it just looks incredible. It's very tough, obviously. It doesn't really need, I mean, you can get your fingerprints on it because you do have to use your finger quite a lot on the screen. But look at the size, 1.5 inch, one of the biggest size on a smartwatch screen size. So that's huge. It's got a tiny bezel around it, which is quite nicely done actually. They've got these markings, I quite like them. So it's not entirely all screen. I think it's reduced quite a bit from the Watch 3 Pro. So it looks quite nice. I don't mind it. I actually like it. But it is still 1.50, so that's huge. The Galaxy Watch 5 Pro is 1.45. So you can imagine it's much bigger. Ticwatch is 1.4, I think 47. So this one 47 or 48, but still this one is bigger, way bigger. And it's noticeable. The front just dominates the whole watch. So that's the screen. In terms of the back, it's got a ceramic sort of back, which is again very high quality. And in terms of releasing the band or this strap, you got these clicky buttons there. You got one on the other side, and you can quite easily just take the strap off. You can also reduce or extend this strap size if you wanted to. Again, they're very easy to sort of do. You got these little points here, just slide them and then these bits come off, and then you can add or take away depending on how big you want it. The clasp is really nice. Again, look, very high quality, got Huawei marking on it. You press, right, nicely clips on, press and release, and it just really instantly releases it. Really high quality. You've got a speaker here, and it is a very high quality speaker, I think for a watch at least. And then you have on the other side, you have a couple of microphones. You can see there's one here and there's another one actually there's one here and one there. So there's two microphones on this side, and then you have the speaker on the other side. It's quite a large enough grill. Yeah, and the way the strap is really nicely sort of blends with the frame of the watch. Really nice, beautifully done. I mean, you know, obviously a lot of time has been spent on creating this perfect craftsmanship. In terms of other spec of the watch, so this watch has the eSIM. You can connect an eSIM to it and make calls on using the eSIM, or you can also have calls via the Bluetooth. Now with the eSIM, there's two functions. We've done other videos on this showing how they work. First of all, you have the option of Bluetooth. So when your phone is connected to the watch via Bluetooth, if a call comes on your phone, the watch receives the call. You can answer that. And then you have the eSIM option. So you have an eSIM, which in the UK, if you have a contract like I have with EE, for example, I think I pay about £7 a month. So you can literally take your watch out without your phone and make and receive calls from it directly without needing your phone. So that's the one thing. If you have an existing one, that's like a one number, so you continue using the same number. And then there's an independent number, which is you can set up a completely independent connection to this, like via eSIM. So if you wanted to set up a brand new SIM, like, you know, you only want to have a number, you only want to give it out to certain people, you can have that. And I think we did a video showing how the eSIM activation works. So we did that. You know, I've got an eSIM connected on this at the moment. It's an independent one because the EE doesn't work out. We'll cover more when we talk about the eSIM feature of the device. So that's the calling feature. And then it has this 1 minute health overview. So it covers 5 health areas. And again, I think we've done a video on this, but I'll go into it a bit more. So yeah, you can quickly do a 1 minute health overview, and it gives you a reading and it tells you how your health is. The watch is capable of being used underwater, free diving up to 30 meters, so that's quite deep. It's rated 5 ATM in terms of water resistance, so that's still very good. It's up there, similar to what the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro has. It's compatible with iOS and Android, so yeah, whichever phone you have, you can use this watch, which is good because some people who have iOS, so the only watch they can use are Apple Watches, and people on Android devices, we have a bit more choice. But again, the possibility of using on either OS is really good to have. In terms of battery, it's got 2 different battery modes. So you have up to 4.5 days in sort of typical regular use, call it standard mode. And then there's a 21-day ultra long battery sort of saving mode. You get 21 days of use if you push it that far. In terms of other features, obviously the watch has built-in GPS, dual band GPS. Comes with some really good pre-installed watch faces. It's got a lot of health sensors. So you've got the ECG, you've got 24-hour heart tracking, you've got stress monitor, you've got SpO2 monitor, skin temperature. So there's a lot of sensors there, fully loaded really. I can't imagine what sensors it doesn't have. So it's got the whole lot. This watch also has access to the Huawei's app gallery, which is sort of the equivalent of the Play Store. So you can download apps to the watch directly from the watch, obviously when it's connected to Bluetooth or via eSIM data connection on it. So you can download apps. We'll cover this a bit more later. It's got lots of interesting features. Quick bar, you can customize, you can add shortcuts to it. In terms of widget customization, there's lots, I'm going to cover that. I mentioned it has ECG, respiratory check as well. It's got a sleep mode feature, which is very good. Again, in terms of accuracy, I'll mention this when we talk about it a bit later on. It's very good at the way it tracks your health, and I'll go a bit more into that later. It's also got fast charging, so a 15-minute charge will give you a full day's worth of charge, and I have literally tried this and it is the case. It takes 60 minutes to make a full charge. That's based on Huawei's information, but having tested it, I can confirm that that's the case. And one other thing it does do, and I'll show it later, it does do QI wireless charging as well, so that's one of the few watches. I don't think that many watches do that, so I've tested it on the back of a phone. I'll cover that later, maybe a bit more. So in terms of its display, so 1.5-inch LTPO AMOLED color screen, which is really good, and I think the refresh rate drops to 1 Hz, so which means when the OLED display is on, you're saving a lot of battery, and the OLED displays look nice as well. So okay, so that's basically the specification. Other features the watch has as well is worth mentioning. So it obviously comes with Wi-Fi, and then it's got Bluetooth 5.2, I think, which is good. I say probably right up there. Moving on, in terms of how you set up the watch. So to be honest, it's not that difficult, but the fact Google Play no longer has the Huawei app means you can't just go to the Play Store and download the Huawei app. The box contains a card with a QR code for you to scan that, and then it takes you to Huawei's apps, wherever their server where you can download the Huawei app, and it installs it on your phone. But in terms of setting up, you do this and then it takes you through the pairing process. I think I've covered that probably in one of the earlier videos as well, showing how the setup process works. So quite straightforward. I mean, it wasn't too difficult. In terms of the display, so I mentioned the size was 1.5-inch screen size, but also resolution wise, it's 466 times 466 pixels. That's 310 ppi, pixel per inch. So that's very high. That's extremely high, and it's noticeable when you look at the watch. In terms of sensors, so it has the usual all the sensors: accelerometer, gyroscope, compass, optical heart rate sensor, ambient light sensor, barometer, temperature sensor, ECG sensor, depth sensor. So I mentioned depth sensor with the diving. So you have the NFC support on this watch as well. So Wi-Fi 2.4 gigahertz, and it's Bluetooth 5.2. In terms of system requirements, so you have Android 6.0 or later, or iOS 13.0 or later. So I was saying, in terms of the UI, it's so fast, so efficient. I think I can understand why Huawei's Harmony OS platform is efficient, because I think the apps are not as complex as those on the Wear OS, the Google platform. I find the apps here are very simple and basic, hence they probably take very little memory and battery and stuff like that, so hence it's quite efficient. But it's the watch is so fast. I mean, whether I'm doing it with my finger and if I'm in the apps, I mean, it's very smooth, no lag whatsoever. I mean, probably definitely I think one of the fastest. And I've got Ticwatch, which comes with the very latest Snapdragon processor, and which is fast, but this one is equal to it. I open an app, it just opens and it just does what it needs to do. It's very good. So in terms of navigating from screens, there's no lag. Very nicely done. It is really good. Kind of a pleasure to use. Now, in terms of what you get in the settings, so I'm going to go through some apps now, what it has, what it doesn't have. Let's start. So to bring up the settings, if you pull down, you get all your shortcuts here. So you've got ultra long battery saving if you wanted to enable that, super link for connecting things like earbuds, airplane mode, as this one also has eSIM, draining of water if you take it for a drive. Settings, obviously you got the Wi-Fi, you got the sound, you can silence it, and you've got screen on, which is a really useful feature that I actually quite like. It's the first time I've experienced a Huawei Watch, so it's the first time I've actually come across this feature. In Android Wear OS, if you want to sort of keep your screen on, you get a choice of, I think, 30-second max, maybe a minute max on some of them. This one, actually, let's show you. So I can enable this screen. Like, for example, I'm reviewing and I'm talking about this now. So the watch doesn't constantly go on sleep mode. So what you can do, you go into display and brightness. And then here you can go an option for screen on, go there, you go from option from 5 minute, 10 minute, 15 minute, 20 minutes. That's amazing. So you'll have the screen on for 20 minutes. So I'm going to leave it at that now. So now the watch isn't going to go to sleep or go into the always on display mode. So that's really good. Although, bear in mind, it will kill the battery quickly with that. You've got alarm, finding your phone, and do not disturb. You've got the sleep mode, so you can enable sleep mode. And you've got a torch. I'll show you quickly. So yeah, you can use the crown to sort of increase the torch power of the torch, or decrease. This is the max. I thought you did go to other colors. Yeah, it does. So you got other colors you can pick. Red. If you wanted to pick a green color, whatever color. I mean, you can see there are some colors, or you can pick your own color as well by going here. Or I go back to white color, and then you've got the option of flash. So you can you can have it to flash. So that's a slow flash. And if I wanted to make it go faster, you can do that. I'll put it back to none. So that's the flash again, very easily accessible from here. And in terms of other things, you can edit this. So you can actually decide, if you decide not to have all of them here, you can just take them away by just removing them. And you can also add anything else that isn't here. So if I click on add, like lock screen one I haven't got, so let's add this one for example. So now I've added the lock screen one, and just like that, you can remove any of them. You can just keep a few that you really want. So that's good to have. Other things here, you get to see the fact you're connected to NFC, Bluetooth, and your battery life here gives you the day and the date, which is good. If I go into settings, now there's a lot of stuff here. So you've got Wi-Fi, and you've got all your Wi-Fi stuff, you got usual stuff, you got the Bluetooth and anything that's connected. Then you have mobile network, so you've got things like options like airplane mode, mobile data. You can auto disable network if you wanted to do any eSIM. So if I go to eSIM, you can see I'm connected to like a mobile, and I can go to settings, and I can have other options like to auto detect my SIM. If I want to cancel it, I can do that here quite easily. So that's that. In terms of network status, it's not giving me anything now because obviously it's not connected to network. I'm on Bluetooth, connected to Bluetooth. Mobile data if I was using, so no record because I haven't really used the mobile data. But if you do, as part of your eSIM data, you can track it here, which is quite handy. More connection, go to more connection, and you can enable NFC. You can select default payment app, so let's show you. So you only have Huawei Wallet here, but I've got a couple of other options showing here, and I'll explain later why these are showing or how they're showing here. Watch face, so you can pick your watch faces from here if you wanted to, and you can use the crown, get a nice haptic. As you scroll, I just picked the one I was on before. Moving on then, so if I go back to settings, go back there to show you what other options. You've got always on display, so it's currently on, and then you can raise to show always on display, which I haven't selected, so it's just on. Or you can have option of raise to show watch face. So yeah, if you wanted, if the watch was on your wrist and you raise your wrist, it'll only show you. If you wanted directly, you'd go to always on display. But I've got for it to go to the watch face. Display tasks and statuses, just nothing here really, just says tasks in progress is showing. Launcher, so you've probably seen loads of videos or when people are reviewing, you can have the grid, which is like a bit like the Apple thing. So let's show you what that means. So if I have it on launcher, and it's currently on grid, and if I wanted to look at the apps, you can see all the apps are a bit like this now, and you can sort of move around. I don't really like this so much, so what I do, I go back there, and I just set it to list. So what list does, you go back, now you've got a list which is kind of easy. Although they don't seem to be in alphabetical order for some reason, but I kind of prefer this. You can't zoom in or anything in this. Let's go back settings. Anything else under here? Assistant today. Yeah, services and reminders. I'll show you what that does. Services. These are the stuff that's set as reminders. Sleep, nap, and training plan. And then there's a card. So I think it's just how, yeah, which card you want. And I'll cover this later a bit more. There's a lot to show. It probably takes way too long if I was to cover everything. So we just covered that. Brightness and displays. You got brightness. You can set to brightness. So I'll leave it on full brightness for now. Automatic sleep, auto, screen time I showed you earlier. Sound and vibration. You got media volume. And again, good to tell you, report that you can actually play music directly from the watch speaker. I've tried it and it works fine, and it sounds decent. Ring volume, AI voice, we'll cover the AI later. Ringtone, so you've got quite a few options here to pick from when your phone rings. Do not disturb, what sort of notification sounds you want. Mute, vibration setting, strength, so I've got it on strong. You've got weak and none, so I'll leave it on strong. Haptic feedback as well again, so I left it on. Cell broadcasts, so yeah, emergency alerts, yeah, and all that kind of stuff. Repeat alerts, and that's it really. So yeah, that's that. Moving on, notifications. You can select here what kind of notifications you want to receive. So if I say load all apps, you can select here what apps you want to get notifications from. These are stuff I've got on my installed on the watch. These are not from your phone. And then you can do the systems app as well. So these are stuff that's pre-built in. And again, if I selected one of them, for example, say activity records, you can enable or disable the notification if you want notification from that or not. If you want allow notification or not, you can pick here. Quite good for your options really. Bluetooth connect, basic connection, battery, breathing exercise and stuff like that, calendar, notifications. So I'll cover calendar and all that stuff but more later. So there's that. So those are notifications, and again you can also select and change them on the phone application. Pin, if you want to set a pin, you can set a pin. So when each time you take your watch off your wrist and you put it back on again, it asks for a pin number. Apps, so you can see here all the apps. I think it's going to load. Let's see what it does. So yeah, these are all the apps. You're going to see lots of apps. You're going to think, okay, it's good, it comes with a lot, but some of them I'll explain. I have side loaded onto the watch, and I think we'll do a video later to show how you can side load applications to this watch. I'll cover that a bit more later when I talk about apps. Permissions manager, so yeah, it's about you giving permissions. So just quickly show you this. So yeah, you can give location permissions, microphone, phone, logs, all sorts of things like that. And which apps you want to give permission and deny permissions to. Battery, it tells you got 45% left here, and you got another 1 day and 10 hours 1 minute left. And if I was to select ultra long battery life now, I get 5 days of battery life from it. And then you can also see here power consumption, so you can see what's using the power. So hardware, for example, is using 56 based on what it's saying, and it shows you screen, Wi-Fi, what's using, the battery is using. So this is really good. It's a bit like a phone. And then how much software applications are taking up. So you can see here how much each of those apps are sort of draining the battery or using up the battery. Power saving, if I go to power saving, it's got options of always on display. I think I've covered all of this before, so I'll get out of here now. Security, privacy, location, yeah, all this stuff. Setup, eSIM pin, all this you can do. So it's like a phone really. A lot of the stuff you can do. Huawei Assistant, This is the voice assistant, which I'll talk about in a bit. Huawei wallet, I'll cover this later. Accessibility features, yeah, so you can do all this stuff. Accessibility features depending on what your needs are. So press up to end calls and download more services. You can do that, hand washing, gestures, so raise to wake, which is already enabled. Not many accessibility options here, to be honest. And then down button. So this button here, what you can do with it, press down button for shortcuts. So you can, now I'm going to show this a bit later. This is quite a good feature to have. So you've got this quick shortcut button, and you can actually have you can program any app from your watch that you want. Any three, not just any, but any three that will always be there. So these are the three I have got set up at the moment. Workout, Huawei wallet for no reason, phone. And if I tap on settings, I can pick, I have to delete one of those in order to make room for another one. So while I'm at it, let's show you how that works. So if I add, I can now add anything else if I wanted to, whatever I have on the watch. So maybe just say that one, and done. So if I go out, tap on this button, you see, and you can again use the crown to sort of move about, rotate, and pick. So yeah, just a single press here at the bottom button, and you can go to whatever shortcut you've set. Anyway, so that's how it works. Quickly going back to settings, I don't want to take too long here. Workout settings, so you've got loads of workout settings you can do here. This is very detailed video, guys, so you have to bear system updates if there's any updates. So let's just check while I'm at it if there are any updates. So as you can see, it's running Harmony OS 3. It says it's up to date. So 3.0.140. This is once you unpack the phone setup, the initial setup, there is an update that you apply, and this is it. So you've got dates, times, and connecting phone, restart. You can turn it off, reset, about and developer options, which are, again, I have enabled because I wanted to test side loading apps. So that's quite a comprehensive look through what you have in terms of what's in the settings menu, the various different options.
So that's all for today. We hope you found part 1 of the walkthrough and review series helpful. If you have, please do give it a like, share it, and support us by subscribing. Don't forget to put your notification bell on to watch part 2 of the series coming soon. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, do take care. Bye bye.